What up, what up, what up? It's your boy, Cardinal Red. I'm the owner of Clip It and Clean It Line Care Service in Louisville, Kentucky. And today I'm going to teach you my line care business 2018 tips for success. Let's get it. All right, peoples. You just saw my schedule for the day. I'm on my third yard, so let's get ready to get this cracking, man. How's everybody doing? That's good. Well, my first tip for line care business 2018 tips for success would be have a good customer base. What I mean by that is sometimes in this business, man, you're gonna run into situations to where you're dealing with customers who man, they think they want things one way, but they really want it another way. They might want you to cut their grass at a certain length, and they thought that they asked you, but they asked you to trim something. Like you might run into a situation where somebody might say, "Hey man, could you do a little extra trimming for me today?" And they go on about their business, and you go on about your business, and you finish the job, you go to get paid, and they go look at their grass, and they're like, "Man, I really wanted you to cut it a few inches shorter." But you're sitting there thinking, like, "Man, you asked me just to trim a little extra this week." But so having a good customer base to where you're not gonna have to deal with stuff like that. You're not gonna have to deal with customers hitting you with the oh man, I'm a little short this week. I'm a little short this week, or can I give it to you tomorrow? That's one of the things I like about dealing with the company that I contract for. They take all the hassle out of having to have a loyal uh, clientele list, or a loyal list of customers, because they pretty much. All right, next up in line care business 2018 tips for success. My second tip would be know your route, man. Have an efficient route. This would have to be you know I would say number two and number three are pretty much tied, but for second, having an efficient route, man, is gonna save you so much money, because the last thing you want within the first year of business is to have a route to where it's real sporadic and real spread out, and you're having to waste a lot of gas to get to the next client. Uh, that right there could suck up a lot of your profit. So really having a efficient route, having a clear route, a clear idea where you go, what area you're gonna be, and the main thing would be mapping out those areas, having two, three, maybe four properties within 5 minutes of each other in one section of town, having three or four properties, within 5 or 6 minutes of each other in another section of town, or if you can have 10 or 15 properties within 5 or 6 minutes of each other within just one section of town, that would be great. That way you could just do this side of town today, that side of town tomorrow, the north side the next day, the east side the next day. If you have a bridge, you go across the bridge, you do whatever's over in the a junction in the city, and that way your route is working for you instead of you working for your route. In this business, you're already going to be putting a lot of gas into your car, a lot of gas into your motor, a lot of gas into your blowers, your weed eaters. If you have gas powered trimmers, you're gonna be eating up a lot of gas. So having an efficient route would cut down on some of that gas usage, especially if, like I just said, if you have multiple properties on one side of town. Uh, I think this is a very important tip for success, because uh, when it comes to your route, I think your route is really important, man, because especially when you have real good clients on a short route. Let's say you have 10 $50 yards and they're all within 5 minutes of each other. You know, you do the math on how much you're gonna make. And it's only gonna take you, you got 10 yards, I would say 30 to 40 minutes per yard. We're looking at about 6, 7 hours at the most. So, that's not even an 8 to 10 hour day, so you'll be able to stuff in a couple of more yards if you have a very efficient route. So you can go from 10 yards to 15 yards. All right, y'all. As you can see, we got a full schedule today. We have about 8 to 9 properties we got to do. So let's get back to it. Oh, yeah. All right, you guys. My next tip in line care business 2018 tips for success would be don't lowball yourself. Basically what I mean is you in this business you have to know your worth, man. You have to pick a price, stick to your price, and don't be afraid to lose a client because they're not willing to meet you on your price. In this business, like I said earlier, man, you're gonna run into clients that want you to do a lot of extra work for no extra money, and that could really run your business into the red and make it to where you're going out of business after your first year because you took on a lot of extra work and you tried to be the nice guy instead of the business owner and make a profit off that extra work. You just kind of did it for free, and some other work suffered because you didn't spend the time taking care of something that you could have been taking care of while you were doing extra work. And to top that off, you wasn't even paid. You wasn't even paid for the extra work. So, knowing your worth, knowing that in this business, everything's pretty much a set price. When you're dealing with bigger line care companies in this city, and I won't mention no names because I won't get sued, but when you're dealing with the bigger line care companies and the contracts that they deal with, they're not even gonna entertain a company like Task Easy or Home Advisor or one of the other companies I'll be mentioning in future videos. But some of the bigger companies here know that their price is what their price is, and if you're not willing to meet that price, the next person will. So they're more willing to lose a customer to gain a customer as long as they're keeping their bottom line. You know what I'm saying? As long as they're getting for that job what they feel like they deserve per hour, then they're willing to lose a customer in order to make what they feel like they deserve. If your bottom line is if your hourly rate or whatever is $75 an hour, and somebody wants you to do something for $60 or $55 an hour, then bigger companies they're not even gonna entertain that because, like I said, they know that they're humongous companies. There's plenty of clientele out there, and there's no reason for them to lowball themselves when they could just say no thank you, and the phone is going to keep ringing. The next person is going to be willing to pay them the $75 that they want to. All right, you guys, I got about 3 more yards left to do on this day, and man, we can turn it in. So let's finish this up. All right, you guys, in my fourth and final line care business 2018 tip for success would be maintenance. Make sure you're doing your maintenance. Because in this business, your equipment, you're only as good as your equipment. And if you if your equipment is broke down, then your business is not functioning. So maintenance would be my fourth and final key to success in line care business 2018. Basically, I would suggest that you are constantly checking your oil, checking your filters, making sure that you are putting the right oil gas mixtures in your string trimmers and in your blowers, your handhelds or your backpack blowers. Make sure you are keeping your blades sharpened. Make sure if you're using a zero turn that your hydraulics are functioning properly. Last thing you want is to get on a hill and have your have your hydraulics go out on you, man, and be in a sticky situation to where the mower goes out of control. I've been, when I first got my zero turn, I got a funny story. I would tell one day about that, man, and finding out that my zero turn it's a good zero turn, but it's not a commercial. They don't call it a commercial zero turn. So it's still a really good one. As you can see, the amount of grass I'm able to take down in just a few minutes is pretty good. But it's not considered a commercial zero turn. So some of these zero turns, when you put them on hills, if your hydraulics are not functioning properly, you're going to end up in a really scary situation. So I always make sure you're doing your maintenance. Make sure you're changing your spark plugs out. Like I said, make sure you're changing the filters out on your mowers, your blowers, your trimmers. Make sure you're keeping your zero turns, oil, changes up to date. Make sure you're changing the filters. What else? Make sure you're changing the gas filters on your mowers if you're using walk behinds or zero turns. Because like I said, man, if you don't want to end up in a situation to where you're in the middle of the season and something breaks down or something blows up on you. Because unfortunately, man, I ended up in that situation last year to where got pretty much to the end of the season and my truck motor ended up blowing up on me. So I went through a real hassle with my car lot with the situation of trying to get another vehicle. And well, basically, I'll tell you a quick story. Basically, they told me was basically the motor went out on the truck, and not to mention I had Task Easy. I had about 50 Task Easy clients at that time, and I didn't get a chance to work for about 2 weeks. So I'm sitting around, I'm waiting for the car, the car to be looked at and everything. For them to finally tell me the motor's blown. And I go back up there, I offer them a certain amount of money as a down payment on another vehicle. I offer them the truck back. And for some reason at that time, they told me to either pay about $3,000 to put another motor in it or take it and get it fixed myself. So what ended up happening is about 2 to 3 weeks went by. I lost about 25 of my Task Easy clients because I am a contractor for Task Easy. And Task Easy is a situation to where they're not going to sit around waiting until you get, your stuff together. And they'll just pass the contract off to somebody else after a certain amount of time. So unfortunately, I lost about 25 customers. But luckily, the amount of money that I did make during this, pretty much halfway through the season, I saved it in case of Ish. Luckily, I did save it in case of Ish because Ish came up and I ended up having to use it. I ended up having to go to another car lot and purchase another vehicle to tow my trailer with, which is the vehicle I have now. And then the original car lot ended up calling me and we went through a big hassle. But like I said, man, you don't want to end up in a situation to where you're taking all your profit from the year and you're having to reinvest it into the business because you didn't do proper maintenance, situation like I did last year. I'm not sure whether the truck motor blew up because I didn't. All right, you guys, we knocked the schedule out for the day, and I hope you enjoyed my lawn care business 2018 tips for success. I'm your boy Cardinal Red. I own Clipping and Cleaning Lawn Care Service, Louisville, Kentucky. If you have any questions about the lawn care business, leave me a comment below.